Have you ever noticed this strange thing with money? Saving your first $5,000 feels painfully slow. Like you're grinding, sacrificing, saying no to things, checking your account every week, and it still feels like nothing is moving. But then somehow, people who already have money talk about hitting $50,000 like it just happened. That can mess with your head. You start thinking, what am I doing wrong? Why does this feel so hard for me? Am I just bad with money? If you've ever felt that way, stay with me. Because the truth is, you're not broken. The system just works differently at the beginning. And once you understand why, everything gets lighter. Here's the first thing most people don't realize. Your first $5,000 isn't about money, it's about friction. In the beginning, everything fights you. Your income is tight. Your habits aren't locked in yet. Unexpected expenses show up out of nowhere. Motivation comes and goes. You're trying to save while still figuring life out. Every dollar you put away feels like effort, because it is effort. At this stage, money isn't working for you. You're working for the money, and that's exhausting. This is why people procrastinate here, why they stop and start, why they feel behind and compare themselves to others. Not because they're lazy, but because there's no momentum yet. Now here's where the shift starts to happen. Once you pass that early stage, something changes quietly. Not overnight, not dramatically, but noticeably. Money starts responding faster. When you have $5,000 saved, a $500 deposit barely moves the needle. But when you have $20,000, that same $500 feels different. When you have $50,000, it feels almost normal. That's because momentum has kicked in. And momentum changes how everything feels. Let me explain this in real-life terms. Imagine pushing a broken-down car. At first, it feels impossible. You're straining, sweating, questioning why you even started. But once the car starts rolling, even slowly, it gets easier to keep pushing. That's money. The hardest part is getting it to move. Your first $5,000 is the push. Your first $50,000 is the roll. Here's another reason the beginning feels slower. Your mindset hasn't caught up yet. When you don't have savings, every expense feels emotional. A car repair feels like a setback. A medical bill feels like panic. A small mistake feels huge. So even while you're saving, you're also constantly stressed. That stress drains energy. And drained energy makes progress feel slower than it actually is. But once you build a small buffer, your brain relaxes. You stop reacting as much. You start planning more. You make better decisions because you're not in survival mode. That alone speeds everything up. Now let's talk about something people rarely admit. The first $5,000 requires more discipline than the next $50,000. At the start, you're saying no to things you still want, no to eating out, no to impulse buys, no to upgrades everyone else seems to afford. You're building discipline from scratch. Later on, discipline becomes your default. You don't have to fight yourself as much. Saving becomes automatic. Investing feels normal. That's why the money comes faster. Not because you became smarter overnight, but because your behavior changed permanently. So what do you actually do with this information? Here are a few practical shifts that make the first $5,000 less painful. First, stop measuring speed. Measure consistency. If you keep asking, why am I not there yet? You'll quit early. Instead ask, did I show up this month? One deposit counts. One smart decision counts. One avoided mistake counts. Consistency beats speed at this stage. Second, simplify your goal. Don't obsess over big numbers right now. Your only job is to build a base. Think of your first $5,000 as financial muscle training, not wealth. It's teaching you how to save, how to delay gratification, how to stick to a plan even when it's boring. That skill is worth more than the money itself. Third, expect boredom and resistance. This part is important. If you're waiting to feel motivated all the time, you'll stall. The early phase is boring, it's repetitive, it doesn't look impressive, and that's normal. We don't talk enough about how unexciting the foundation stage is, but every financially stable person you admire went through it, quietly. Here's the encouraging part. Once you cross that first milestone, things really do change. You start trusting yourself more. You see proof that your actions work. You stop feeling like you're starting from zero every month. Money stops feeling like an enemy and starts feeling like a tool. And that's when progress accelerates. Let's recap this simply. Your first $5,000 feels slower because you're fighting friction, not lack of ability. You're building habits, not just saving money. You're pushing without momentum yet. Your mindset is still adjusting, and none of that means you're failing. It means you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So here's your personal challenge. Tonight, don't worry about the full $5,000. Just take one small step. Automate a tiny transfer. Cut one unnecessary expense. Track 1 week of spending or simply commit to not quitting. That's it. Progress doesn't come from dramatic moves. It comes from quiet, repeated ones. And if you stay consistent, one day you'll look back and realize the part that felt slow was actually the part that changed everything. If this helped you, stick around. We're building progress the quiet way, together.